We're back. We're back here on Friday. But Keith wanted to quickly just glance over 5 out of the 9 races last Sunday were double-digit winners. We had a $14.80 winner, a $16.80 winner, a $32.60 winner, a $14.40 winner, 26 even, and then a $21.60 winner in the nightcap there for Sunday racing.
I know you were on a couple of them. You had a good day handicapping.
I
was
did.
asking if you were betting. You said no, you really weren't betting too much. You don't want to get really caught up and become an addict like me.
And not
a
so much an
degenerate.
addict, but I don't want it. I want my mind clear, and I don't want any influences, and I don't want that in the back of my head. So I try and give you as clear of a picture as I can. But I did okay. I did okay Sunday. But anyway, let's talk about what's maybe not so okay is a little bit of rain that we have coming down there. It's coming. It's gonna get a little bit more wet as we get out there.
It's going to get a little ugly, I think.
You said it, not me.
I know.
I
It's
agree.
rain kind of coming into town. It's going to hang around for a few hours, it looks like. So we're going to deal with an off track, I think. We're starting with good right now. It's sealed up, but this thing could change quickly. I know you will keep them apprised of the situation, how this track goes. So, I had to kind of, alter course a little bit with the handicapping this morning. And, hey, we'll give it our best shot. I got a couple horses I like today, so let's see what we can do.
As per usual, Keith, you still has some prices to offer here at Laurel Park, and we'll get into that a little bit. Starting in race number 1, of course, now the track rated good in a 12% low industry takeout for that early pick 5, which does start in this claiming $10,000 for the 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2, going 6 furlongs on the dirt scratch in the number 3. Pressing concern. Keith, let's go ahead and take a look at Dr. Regs back in January 13th from the quarter pole onwards.
Yeah, this was a race I thought maybe a little bit better field than what he might be facing today. Dr. Rags had to shift out. He gives a little bit wide, 6 wide is the comment at the 8th pole, but closes up just a little bit of ground. And this particular afternoon, I've got to note kind of a speed favoring surface. So showing the willingness to grind it out that last furlong. We're going to drop a little bit here. We're going to be inside. We've got a live bug in Rivera. I think this guy can lay a little bit closer by the time they hit the quarter pole and kind of rally past late. Looks to me like Jepster's going to be the target from the outside. Might offer a little bit of value in here. Made a move into a pretty honest pace last time out. Got the lead, was able to shake clear, but just wilted late. Things will be a little bit more relaxed, I believe. Despite odds, might have that speed just soften just a little bit because of the route last time out. But, man, they went good internals. I mean, a good second quarter, battle through that to get the lead, just run down late by next out winner. Carlin Tapscott, again, kind of like Amy Hall the other. You don't usually see trainers like this. They put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into the game, but they don't usually get a lot of action at the windows.
Right.
They're going to get it today despite odds. Clearly, off of that 68 gaudy number last time, could be the one to beat.
Right. Keith Fusel goes 2-6-4-5 there at the start of the early pick 5.
Yep.
But let's get into the early pick 4. It starts with your ticket, Keith. No single today. No El Cheapo today either.
No.
This is a bit of a handicapping day.
Yeah, it is. I wanted to just go ahead and single, honor the fleet. We see how that goes sometimes. You get knocked out right off the bat. So I'm a fleet. He's kind of beaten Antipoison on the square a couple times, if I think. But, still Antipoison, capable barn, a barn that's rolling lately. I'll throw him in there. 3-6. 3-4-5 in race number 3, Callie. Decoupage coming back to Laurel, a big number, 2 races back off a little bit of a break. Gold Time Vixen, a price shot. Now, I could have trimmed this down because I think a Spicy Margarita with the scratch of Ari landed. If you want to play a cheaper ticket, if she breaks, it's going to be her race to lose up front. She's going to go a long way, I believe, in here. Race 4, here it is. Spreadarama, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. I'm not going to use Sweet Shugs at 3-1 on the line. I thought maybe, at a shorter price to get, let's look for some other options. And wrap it up in race 5. 6 and 7, competitive, optional. First level allowance for those 3-year-old fillies. It's a good field there. Ann Whistle was impressive in debut. Let's see. That's how we got to do it. $30. If I would trim anything and alter a little bit, race 3, maybe single a spicy margarita, come back with a ticket, spread a little bit more in the fifth.
There we go.
Something like that. So there you go.
There we go. There we go. You have your structures and your optional
Yeah.
structures there from Keith Fusel for the early pick 4. Again, ladies and gents, he's very, very apt with these early pick 4s. And it does start in this claiming 8,000 for the 4-year-olds and upwards, going 7 furlongs here on the dirt. Keith, you and I both have your best bet on top. Honor the Fleet. And let's take a look at that race back from January 6th. And we're just going through leaving that chute. And we're gonna see the 3/8.
Yeah, the break.
Hop up.
Yeah, a little hop at the break, and gets a little bit lucky here. Is able to recover and find that seam leaving the chute. Sometimes, Cal, as a rider, I guess you panic a little bit because
this was well-ridden.
you go up in the air and you're like, oh no, I hope I got a place to go here early to just get position. And Honor the Fleet was able to do that and get an inside path actually in battle, and then edge away in mid-stretch to prove best. Just confidently handled there, nursed along by Lopez. Good little rating job there around the turn. He's able to kind of respond here and hold firm to one. Honor the Fleet, he's just been a cool horse. He's been steady. Charlestown, Laurel, Delaware, it doesn't matter. He kind of takes a show everywhere, and he hits the kind of field today from positionally. He'll, with a decent enough break, get close. And I just think you can trust him the most. And Kieran, this level, I got a little stat here from 5,000 to 10,000 claimers on the dirt as the fave, which I do think this horse will be today. It's 35%, 25 for 71 the last 3 years. Pretty strong.
There we go. There we go. There's Keith Fusel's unofficial stat that we have. And to add, I think this horse adds to that number. But as of late, the last 12 entries from Charlestown to Laurel for Kieran McGee, 4 of them have been winners, 1 second, 2 thirds. 33%, and let me do the quick math. That's 7 for 12 from Charlestown to Laurel in the money for Kieran McGee with Honor the Fleet. And why not? I agree with you on every single step with this horse.
Yeah, you don't have antipoise. I'm going to take this horse again against the grain of the race. Good number out of that race in that start. It was a fast race, top boss. It was tough to close that day. Speed very good on the 18th. Had an overland trip, a couple tries back against Honor the Fleet. Just needs to save a little bit more ground. He's come up short a couple times. I think he'll make a move into it. Don't know if he's quite as good as the 3. I'm going to throw the 8 in here. Our Hoisted Mass, another one, a victim of that track on the 18th. And Tom, terrific. Vinny's interesting. I was looking at Dan Ellman's stuff early when I got here this morning. I didn't have a chance to look at the form this weekend, but or my days off. That's our weekend. And it's a reclaim here. He's got some good races on the go back for this barn, so might just pop right back up. Maybe they got the whole card for Vinny.
And only try on a wet dirt has been a win, so that's even all the better. 15-1 morning line on. Yeah. There you go. Another value play underneath for Keith Fusel. Race number 3. Second leg of the early pick 4 is a starter optional claiming at 20,000, going 6 furlongs on the dirt for the girls 4 years old and up. Scratch in the number 7, R. Avery Lynn. Yeah. So Keith, that leaves you and I with Spicy Margarita, Claudia Gonzalez, Javian Toledo back in the saddle. Yeah,
it gets a little assist here with that scratch of R. Avery Lynn, who I thought could kind of keep her honest up front again with a clean break. Spicy Margarita, proven on an off track, maybe run a little bit better numbers on a fast track. Right. But, hey, it's her race to lose. Yes, she ran on a speed favoring track, but she got hounded by a classier horse in proper attire, right? A horse that's been competitive and maybe I think might have won a 2 other than. So she goes to the front. We'll see, how far she can go if you're looking for a price shot. Interesting little protect move, I thought, here for Saray with Gold Time Vixen. A brutal trip at Charlestown. Got beat for an open nickel. Now kind of holds the level, goes back up a little bit. Interesting. Going back. Okay races on and off track. I think there might be enough flow to rally into it. The scratch of the 7 might hurt her chances to get over the top, though, and win it.
Okay, there we go. We'll see a bit of a value play underneath as Keith Fusel's giving the prices underneath just for some sneaky under-the-radar picks. You also have, you talked about decoupage, of course, but interesting enough, number soft back at Parks, but what I like is that when this horse comes back to Laurel, in the past couple of times this horse has come back to Laurel, for the most part, has been strong. My only thing against decoupage is if you go back to May on that off, it was an off track. I'm not sure what you have to question whether it was the class or it was the wet track that did it, and I'm going to allude a little bit to the wet track.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, her two-back number. I 10-1, big upset there. I mean, the barn has done okay coming in here. You're going to get Alvelo, the services of Alvelo today. Runaway winner 13 and change for that winner at Park. So, close to a 70 is going to put you right into the mix here today. All Italian dressing just tossed the last. Trouble at the break, just got discombobulated, coming back at about the right level. Another one that might slip away off of that dirtied up figure last time out.
There we go. Race number 4 kicks off the Rainbow Pick 6, and we've got a carryover from all those prices that we had on Sunday. We've got a 6,268 carryover, and of course that's going to be a little bit more than that by the time we get to race number 4, which is a maiden special weight going the 1-turn mile on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old fillies. You, Keith, have 6 the hard way, but I also have a Rainbow Pick 6 ticket.
Okay.
I go with 4 and 5, Sweet Shugs and Crimson. Of course, Brittany Russell, first-time starter, and Norman Cash with the blinkers on. Race number 6 is my single. Race number 5 is my single, Happy Clouds. Race number 6, I do spread a little bit in these mid sections of the card today. Race number 6 in this allowance. I could have pressed the all button, but there was just one horse that I don't think is going to be making up any steam there in the 6. Race number 7, that maiden claiming 20. Hey, that is one you can spread a little on. 6, 8, and 9. Hammy Smith, Rudy Rodriguez, and Brittany Russell. Why not? Just solid picks there, despite the first time going to be on an off track. Race number 8 in that allowance optional 55 with the scratch of the one Everett song. 2, 4, 5, 6. I was tempted to press the all button, but again, Bobby G. I don't know how Bobby G is going to be. 3 for 15 on a wet dirt. And then in race number 9, I make a dramatic single with the other nice Kieran McGee runner today. That was or Mikey Gorham with that was then. This is now a really nice performance last time out going around the 2 turns. We'll see if they can carry that back to the 1 turn here today.
You got a single in the 9th.
I always have a single in the last. That's always how I play things.
I thought that was extremely wide open. Yeah, you got to keep it honest. You whittle it down. You've spread in some other races, right, to keep it reasonable.
I was tempted to go too deep there in race number 9, but why not? Why not make things fun? So again, I wanted to keep it a little bit El Cheapo, so I'm trying to do that as best as I can. But if you're going to spread, if you're going to add any horses, probably do it, as I agree with you, little bit, take of a wide open affair in there.
I'm becoming a bad influence on you. Cheapening,
you are.
That's not good. I mean, you usually look classy. Dealing with guys, and the fans, I should say, gamblers that have some money. Okay, unlike me. So
here's the thing: it's the best kind of bad influence because you're taking these angles and you're trying to make the most work for your money, which is great.
Bang for your buck. Let's go to the 4th.
Yes, in this maiden special weight going a 1-turn mile on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old fillies. Keith, you have the number 7, 6 the hard way. Yes. Rudy Sanchez, Solomon, Jamie Rodriguez, first after the claim, but the barn is heating back up.
Seems like the horse just ran yesterday, right?
Right.
February, the 26th?
Right.
It was real dull early, though. I expected a little bit more speed out of this filly, and we didn't see it. She just kind of made a little bit of a run late. But last 30 days, this barn 10 for 38, 344 ROI. It's strong. I think you'll see 6 the hard way show a little bit more speed from this outer post. Looking at the field, not a ton of true proven speed. Why not? Creative calls, badges over on the bottom. Let's go to the front and see how far we can go. I thought this was an impossible race to line, so nothing will really surprise me when the board, they break from the gate. I just kind of hedged with Crimson, with Brittany Russell. You got a horse by commissioner, 11% with the firsters. You get this one second. Half to a debut winner and unadulterated, who Brittany also claimed. It ran a big number first time. I got away at 5, almost 6-1 that day. You've got the services of Toledo. That's a little bit of a tell, right? So you're looking at the field. You don't have to be anything special. You can run a 50 couple buyer for a maiden special weight.
Right.
Yeah, you're there. Your money today. So, yeah, you've got the 4 on top. You got Sweet Shugs, who I don't have. Give me your story here on the 4.
Sweet Shugs, story on Sweet Shugs. I got this one. I worry about this one on and off track, but you're going back off of that Oaklawn Park, but that was at a maiden special weight, and now we're here changing things up a little bit easier, but coming back into the fold for 2023, that was a nice big change up. So I'm just seeing a little bit of tiredness, a little bit, and once, especially these early runners, with some of them, especially with fillies, once they get a little tired mind-wise, their focus tends to go as well. So that's what I'm going to say with the blinkers on as well. Sprinter route, stretching them out a little bit. Cash, he's okay. 13% as of late. Nothing crazy with the blinkers on as far as stats go as of late, but I just think this one as an individual just needs a little bit of zhuzh, a little bit of help.
Yeah, I mean, you can almost sell every horse in here.
You could.
I looked at it, I'm like, this is just a kind of an
It
odd
is.
grouping of horses. Brooklyn Girl, a horse that I used last time. She likes to stay on this left lead, but we're going to switch it up. Blinkers going on, Lasix going on, rallied in and was in front of a next out winner. A next out winner in the next start in Tinseltown Terror ran pretty well. No run at all last time out. I think you'll see an improved horse. Off track certainly should like it, no doubt. Yeah, she's just got to get a little bit more focused. But I think she'll handle the route of ground, no problem. The 2, I toss in Miss Antietam. It's off of a 7 buyer in debut, right? 7 buyer. Was bet down to 4-1, but claimed for 30. A protect move off of it, just not really too good of a race,
right?
A debut. So you're going to the Rob Barn X-Man. Maybe this is one that just kind of goes ahead and tries to set sail. Lots of ways to go in the 4th. Hence, I went a lot of ways in that early pick 4.
And why not? Why not? Let's go ahead to race number 5 in that allowance optional, claiming 62.5, going for the straight 3-year-old fillies. Going short this time, 5.5 on the dirt scratch. And the number 5, Moco Gold. Keith, you and I both land on the number 7, Happy Clouds. Let's take a look at that last time out from Happy Clouds back on February 11th.
Yeah, I got a pretty good setup and took to rating early. The pace was kind of hot. Contested Gavin Air, who's going to be back in here with 22 and 246 and some change. And they all start kind of rolling and converging at the quarter pole. The best trip when it's all said and done is probably going to be the winner, right? Tapping Josie was saving a little bit more ground, was able to split. That was for DePaz. Good effort, though. Happy Clouds rolled up, had to be 6 wide, turning for home outside rivals. Gets a short lead. Duels in real game. Done a really nice job off the claim as Farrier. Again, with some speed to target. She looks like she'll be sitting perfectly, probably at the 5/16. She's got a good win on an off track. Liquidator, who you also saw in that video and stayed on that left lead, she might have been laying a little too close to that pace. She'll be a little bit further back today, which might kind of make her run a little more special against this group. So I go 7, 6, 6, 7. Lots of ways to go. And Whistle was impressive in debut, was really well prepped, broke sharp in a big field and controlled it all the way. But I'm going to center around the 6 and the 7. The 2 Unified Alliance, really nothing wrong in both starts. Service Barn, last 30 days, 30% with a 446 ROI. Season doesn't mind a battle either.
Right.
So she's been really gritty up front. And they bring the rider.
And of course, that's why I go 4 wide here in this 5th race. A lot to offer, and before we get into the rest of this card and talk about a little bit more of these competitive races, we're going to come back with a commercial.
When it comes to getting back in the game, there's only one team to turn.
Let's keep digging into the rest of this competitive card. Race number 6 is this allowance for the fillies and mares, 4 years old and up, going 6 furlongs here on the dirt scratch in the number 2 Western Lane from Tally Lynch. Let's take a look at the number 4 Charming Way, back from February 26th of last year. From that far turn to the middle of the stretch, got into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, go back machine, right? Hung out there wide, 4 or 5 wide into the turn, but you see Toledo just kind of reaching up, grabbing again, just knowing he's got kind of plenty of horse, Callie. And this is a filly that's, shown some serious talent, but also shown some hiccups along the way. Getting out of the gate, you bumped in tight, broke slow, a lot of different things going on with Charming Way. But what I like here is this is the last time, at this distance. And, well, 6.5, close
Sure,
to it.
this
And
is
she
this
ran
works.
a really, really good race, just cruising against an okay field. Glow City has come back. You look at the lines; she's been good in some better races. So let's see. She's working very forwardly. I think she's got the right kind of field here. Doesn't have to deal with a whole lot of traffic. You've got Gomez, a rider that's riding well, good ROI trainer. I think she'll rate comfortably and move into it around the turn. These works leading in. She looks like she's ready to rock. And a little stat on the stallion. Blofeld. We talk about this stallion a lot.
We do.
5 for 18 the last year or so. Dirt to route sprints.
There we go.
Turning back in distance. Been a good little angle for Blofeld.
On top of that,
All right.
on top of that, 21% on a wet dirt as well. Talking with this team, you alluded a little bit to a little bit of unluckiness in the last half of the year, and that they just gave this filly just a bit of a mental break, bring her back into action, bring her back in a similar type of way, and just putting her in a pause. I like this cut back in distance for her at this time of year, coming off of a layoff, and as you said, with those nice works, 47-1 over at Middleburg Training Center.
Yeah, I think she'll show up today. The barn, I know, the smaller sample, but this filly's got some talent. She ran well in debut as well, so she was set early. I think she's going to be set off the break. A girl named Jack, interesting, a reclaim here for Hugh McMahon. I think she's going to be setting out early to get position. Maybe not quite as quick as La Familia, but I think she'll get the first run on the speed if she's not the speed and try to hold off Charming Way.
There we go. You also have the number 3 underneath. Flashy charge for Matt Frazier, Yomar Ortiz. This one, I like. First of all, I like the cut back in distance. I like all the way to the 6 furlongs. I think I think the tries at the allowance at Churchill have been a bit trying, and just I think last time out, Will on the Move maybe shipped a little bit too quickly coming over here to Maryland. A couple of other factors, but some promising enough works over there over in Kentucky at the Thoroughbred Training Center.
Huge ask in the Will on the Move against that group, and you go back, 60 to 1, 46 to 120. Well, you're going to get single-digit odds on her today. I mean, maybe in the 3.7 to 2 range when it's all said and done. Proven over and off track, a little bit of a break. She really wouldn't be a terrible surprise to make a move into this pace.
Race number 7 is a maiden claiming 20,000, going 6 furlongs on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old fillies. Scratch in the number 2, Anti-Rona. You have the number 9 on top. We have them flip. You have the number 9 on top. Out of luck for Hammy Smith. J. Ron Barbosa on top. On the outside, I like the outside angle, even if it is a first-time starter. I just like the little bit of a clearance. Sure, you have some risk of them drifting out a little bit, but coming out of a barn like Hammy Smith, it's going to be rare that they're going to be really dramatic in that first-time effort.
Yeah, she's had, I'm sure, a lot of schooling down at Ellery, at the Ellery
Right.
Training Center, a chance to get to the gate and get all that out of the way. She comes in, nothing glaring with the works. A couple of winners in the family, Sweet Home Dixie, I think one second out, one of the siblings there. But Hammy and Goree, when they team up at this level, the 16-25 level, they've been deadly, over the last few years with these first-time starters. You've got some horses that really blasé kind of form. Take a fresh face here with a jockey trainer ROI that's good too, over $3. So I'll take a shot with Out of Luck. Naughty Nan, I think it could be the favorite, most definitely. Brittany Russell Angle. We do have a scratch of the 2. Definite excuse. Off poorly on a speed lean track in New York.
Right.
Drops into the right kind of spot today. And if you go back, to the debut, that second place runner, Weekend Rags, ran second to a horse that won the stake here in Stonewall Star.
Okay, there we go. There we have it. You and I also have Aunt Bear underneath. The other runner coming from New York for Rudy Rodriguez, race number 8, is an allowance optional claiming 55, going a mile and 16th on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. Scratch in the number 1, Everett Song. Keith, you have the number 2 on top, who now inherits the rail and accelerator for Jamie Ness and gets Jamie Rodriguez. Wonderful performance last time out, going around 2 turns.
Yeah, really good ride as well after some early adversity out of the gate. Well, if you go back to the long comment, bumped both sides. There was like a 4-ply duel early in that race. They were going pretty quick, and this horse made a very sharp move into it, moved and was able to sustain and win that stretch battle with Shaft's Bull. It was a great, great horse race from the top of the stretch home. Ness, his horses, when they went off the claim, they come back and they win again. A little stat, he's 40%. 34 for 86, second off the claim following a win the last 3 years on the dirt with an ROI of 230. This is a horse, we got a shorter field now with a scratch of the one, that has shown positional speed in the past. So when Irish Court kind of goes out, I think Accelerate with a clean break will have to stay a little bit closer today. Don't want to let the 5 just walk the dog and go coast to coast.
There we go. Keith Fusel goes 2-5, 6-4. Of course, we haven't even touched on Torch of Truth for Mike Trombetta. We've got that video of Torch of Truth back in January 14th from the 3/8 onward.
Yeah, you like this, you know, kind of a lone speed out there. He's kind of working his move, and he shifts out and just goes ahead and sustains. All of a sudden, this guy is back on form with 2 straight wins, clear wins, both. Mile last time wins by 5 with a wide move to get it done, but Torch of Truth and Barbosa, they're getting along quite well. And, yeah, again, doesn't have to deal with a whole lot of traffic here in this shorter field.
Right.
Like I say, I don't think he's as quick as the 5, but you know what? I think he can stay fairly close. And if he sustains these runs, you could say maybe he's the horse to beat. But the road's going to go through the 5, who had a horror trip a couple races back here at Laurel. You see it in the short comment, then was run down by a really good horse at Parks last time out.
There we go. Keith Fusel 2-5-6-4 there in our feature here on Friday. Race number 9, our nightcap of the day, is a claiming 20,000, going a 1-turn mile on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old. Keith, you have the number 4 on top. Your value play of the day. He's on fire for Carlos Mencia. Gets Johan Rosado again. Yeah,
it just jumped a little too much last time off the maiden score. The maiden score on a money sealed track. Well, something similar we're going to predict that he's going to be on today. He was good through the wire, relaxed. That was first time Lasix. This little drop down, I think, is going to work just well for him. He has enough speed to lay within range and bring that finish at the mile distance like he did 2 races back.
There you go. You also have Aura Corvix underneath the number 2 for Rudy Sanchez. Solomon gets Angel Cruz, coming with a couple of strong stats, but let me see what you have to say first before I dip in with my stats.
Well, no, the buyers just keep kind of going up and up and up. Another one just kind of bit off a little bit more than he could chew last time out with Johnny French Fry, Uncaptured Storm. The internals that he comes out quicker, 46-3 last time, can lay a little bit closer. He's got that just grind style that would work here at the mile distance.
There we go. Rudy Sanchez, Solomon 17% with his second-time routers as of late, 4 for 12 in the money, 20% with stretching them out, and also 17% when they kind of get wrapped up on a double-digit loss. Has a good effort on turning them around for a good positive result, and there we have it.
All right.
For our nightcap of the day, but let's get under lightning round. Plenty to talk about, and plenty happened this week. Keith, let's go ahead and take a look at your best bet of the day. Of course, Honor the Fleet. I feel better about having this one on my top selection as well.
If he breaks clean, I think he gets a forward position and just can kind of assert himself top of the stretch and get it done against this group we talked about, Kieran, as favorites, with the favorites between this $5,000 and $10,000 range. He's very strong year in and year out. That whole team, man, they're tough. Like close to 30-35%. Value play, we go to the last. Again, there was a couple horses I liked at prices. I like that Saray horse in the sprint as a user underneath, what was that earlier, but we'll get back to that. When
value play, I think, in the
But my values in the 9th with the 4, he's on fire, absolutely.
Yes.
I think getting back to an off track and the right kind of drop, it's good. But another horse you might want to throw in there was Gold Time Vixen. Little odd protect move here to throw in your exact. Is Spice Margarita going to be an awfully short price in that one?
Couple eyebrow raisers underneath for Keith Fusel, giving you some hopefully prices coming up here on this Friday afternoon's card. But let's talk about the Renaissance Awards. A lot of these winners have been announced. Of course, we've got Brittany Russell, who is on her second consecutive Renaissance Champions Award as leading trainer, of course, on the heels of a season that saw her train a couple of Maryland-bred champions, which we will get to a little bit later. And let's take a look at the winning jockey. Of course, Javian Toledo, he won his 4th Maryland riding crown last year and guiding home 145 winners and won 3 meet riding titles this year. Winning owner, of course, is our Larry Johnson. Johnson won 18 races in Maryland last year as a sole owner and won stakes races with True Valor, Spun Glass Skies Not Falling, the latter whom he co-owns with RDM Racing Stables. And of course, let's talk about a couple of these champions and the breeders who have been involved with that. Of course, this is Dr. and Mrs. Thomas Bowman. Tom and Chris's runners have won 94 races last year and earned over $3.8 million. And some of their most notable runners last year include graded stakes winner Double Crown and, of course, Maryland bred champion Post Time. Now, let's get into a couple of these four-legged runners. We're going to talk about, of course, Fille d'Esprit winning. Here we are seeing her win 3 titles. Maryland bred champion older female. We also have a couple of titles as well. Champion sprinter overall, and of course, Maryland bred horse of the year for Fille d'Esprit. She's had a stellar 2022 overall. The Conover, the Maryland Million, the Politely, the What a Summer, just missed out, and the Barbara Fritchie, just a stellar season for this filly, Keith.
Absolutely. She was rock solid. Tremendous job. That was off the claim, right?
That was off the claim, yes.
No Guts, No Glory, CGI Phoenix Group, and trainer Jerry Robb, yes.
And, of course, we also have Where She Told Me to Go as our Maryland bred champion older male. He has been honorably retired, but won several stakes, most notably back in Maryland lately with March of last year with the Not For Love in March of 2022. But, of course, big honor for Where She Told Me to Go. Joe, let's talk about Joe, who was the Maryland bred champion 3-year-old male. He won the John Murphy over at Pimlico in May, and the Federico Tessio, of course, before getting a break. I'm sure we're going to see him again. And let's talk about Luna Bell, who was a champion 3-year-old filly, who had an unfortunate run in the Black-Eyed Susan, but won the Weber City Miss, Beyond the Wire, the Wide Country, Extra Heat. She started off 2022 so strong. We look forward to seeing her back in here in the races in the afternoon. And let's get into the 2-year-olds. Of course, the post time as our champion 2-year-old male, winning the Maryland Juvenile, but running some stellar numbers, figures, visually stunning performances, and we're looking forward to see him back at the races relatively soon. So not too soon, of course, but he's going to be back at the races, and we're looking forward to see him there. And let's talk about the champion 2-year-old filly in Malibu Moonshine. Of course, won the Maryland Juvenile Filly Stakes and the Gin Talking as well. Let's also dig into some steeplechase. The steeplechase runner, our Maryland bred champion steeplechaser, of course, who's counting, who has not been off the board in all of his 2022 starts. So I think 7 starts. So 1, 2, 3 in all of his 7 starts, very nicely, winning at Colonial, and winning in a couple of other different, one at Broke His Maiden, actually, here in 2022, over the jumps, and then continued on with that success as well. Let's talk about the older horse in Field Pass. Now, Field Pass has been running all over the place, of course, all over the grass, a couple different racetracks, but recently winning at back in July. His recent win was a 1 1/8 over the grass, of course. And then we're going to wrap up a couple of ours winners with Broodmare of the Year, Slow and Steady. Of course, the Broodmare of Malibu Beauty, who won the Carousel and was third in the Geisha, but a couple of wonderful stock that we have here for the Maryland contingency. Of course, a great notion as well for our Maryland Stallion of the Year.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. It was a lot.
You out of breath?
I am out
Okay.
of breath. So we had essentially what we did, what Maryland did is they had 3 winners per day starting on Monday. So I gave you all of the wins of the week. And then, of course, we're going to have some more announcements later on today. And throughout the weekend, you and I will be announcing those as well.
Okay.
But that's the wrap up of the Renaissance Award winners. Congratulations to those so far, and good luck to the finalists there in the future. And we're going to head on over to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All righty, good luck.